Author and television producer George Pelecanos is bringing one of his books to life right here on the streets of the nation's capital. You might know him as a producer of the hit show The Wire, based out of Baltimore, but Pelecanos actually grew up in Silver Spring, Maryland. Spent lots of time growing up on the streets of the district, where his dad actually owned a deli near DuPont Circle. He's written about 20 books. I think he's rich. They're mostly crime stories based right here in D.C.'s neighborhoods. Right now, he's in the middle of producing a new film, DC Noir, based off his book of the same name. I find this guy incredibly interesting, amazingly candid, and I had the chance to talk to Pelecanos. We did this interview over in Petworth about his life and inspiration here in D.C. Talk to me about The Wire. Could we have done The Wire in D.C.? Why Baltimore, and why was it so effective? I know it had the good writing, good directing and all that, but why Baltimore?
Baltimore's different than Washington. We've always been protected with the jobs in the federal government and so on. Baltimore lost their industry, manufacturing. The docks were automated. All those people lost their jobs. And when you lose jobs that are not coming back, a city dies. They also don't have public transportation in Baltimore, which is another key. Their story is different than ours.
Absolutely, it's a tale of two cities.
Yes.
You've got Under Armour, and you've got all of that great stuff going on, you know, that's on the postcards and everything, and then you've got West Baltimore, and nothing happens there. Nothing's happened there in, Jesus, 20, 30 years.
Bruce, it all comes down to jobs. I mean, you can talk about the police and the schools and everything you want to talk about. People all want the same thing. They want to work, and they want things to be better for their children. That's what they want.
I think you're absolutely right. And when people are working, it just seems to me, we don't have those stories of racism, of hatred, fear, and that sort of thing.
No, because you have contentment. You know, there's that old thing, if you have a dollar in your pocket, you're not going to try and take the other guy's dollar, right?
Right. Talk to me about the criminal justice system. I have two brothers who went to prison. I was lucky at age 14. My mom and the priest got me out of the neighborhood, sent me up the road to Cincinnati, Ohio, stuck me in a seminary to be a priest. I wasn't going to be a priest, but they got me out of the neighborhood, okay? You also had some experiences with the law. What happened?
Just normal. I mean, I think I can now call it normal boy stuff, but you know, I shot a guy when I was 17, a gun accident, but I wasn't charged. Police came to my house. They had a look around at my you know, my white family, my parents, two loving parents at home, and they made the decision not to charge me, right? Deep into my 20s, I had a night where I was drinking, and I got into an altercation in a parking lot, and I left as the police arrived, and there was a high-speed chase. And I actually lost the law, Bruce, that night. I beat them, but they got me the next day. They arrested me. I got charged with a lot of things. And I went before the judge, and the guy got a look at me, and he said, you know, you just take a few classes. Like,
where do you mean got to look at you? So what?
Saw a white dude who had a job in his late 20s and was wearing a suit, basically. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I was a beneficiary of the justice system, you know. And had I gone to jail, it's pretty safe to say that I wouldn't be here as a novelist and screenwriter and film producer and all that.
Is that what we might call white privilege today?
I think it is. I mean, certainly, had I been a young black guy that didn't, you know, hadn't been coached when he went into the court and hadn't been told what to wear and so on like that, I think I would have gone to jail.
Right. Okay. And that in turn allows you to understand what's going on out here with the criminal justice system. Is that why now you're doing this work with the criminal justice system in part?
I just
think, work with ex-offenders?
You know, I don't think it's just. And when I go to these, when I go out to New Beginnings, it's all black kids in that jail. Okay.
Which is the city's facility for youth.
Yeah, incarcerated youth from the district. There's white kids doing crimes in the city. I'm not saying they should go to jail, but I'm saying it's a stark illustration when you go there and you see nothing but black youth in this jail. And the same thing at the DC jail. You know, I've seen like one white guy there when I go down there to do reading programs. And I just think people need help. You know, when I go in there and all I do is talk about books. They read books. You know, there's a library at the DC jail now, and they're voracious readers down there. They're better. They're better read than I am.
I've
you know
always
what I
said
mean?
some really smart people incarcerated.
Yeah, and we just go in and talk about the books, and then you get into other discussions about life. But basically, it's just going down there and saying, somebody out, I'm putting my hand out for a couple hours, basically.
Right.
And
You're making yourself available.
that's it. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, it is a big deal to them. You're going to reach
To them,
You're
yeah.
reaching people you don't even know. Trust me.
Yeah, but so just so you don't think I'm a great guy, I get a lot of material when I'm down there too, Bruce. I'm listening to the
You're doing
voice.
research.
Sure, I'm always doing research.
That was just part one of a two-part segment. We're going to have the rest of our conversation tomorrow. We're talking about gentrification, the good and the bad, and more at D.C. and Baltimore, the good and the bad, right here on Off Script.